Colts, it's Mrs. Hladun. I hope that you are doing well today. Today is Wednesday and it's Earth Day today, so I hope that you did something fun outside and enjoyed the beautiful weather. It was quite lovely out today. So we're starting a new book actually, and this book is called The One and Only Ivan. And I wonder if any of you have ever read it before. This book is brand new to me. I have never read it before, and I hope that it is an easy read in terms of the language. The Secret Garden, the other book I'm reading, is a little tricky to read. So hopefully this one's a little more common with its language, but we'll see. And this book was written by Katherine Applegate. And there's a couple interesting things about the cover of this book. I wonder what you notice that is interesting about the cover of the book. I notice that right here, it says coming in summer of 2020, there is going to be a book called The One and Only Bob. Do you see that? And it looks like it might be a book about a gorilla. So that's something for us to look forward to. I also notice on this book that it says down here it's a #1 New York Times bestseller. So that usually means that it's a pretty good book and that lots of people have purchased it and read it and left good reviews about it. The last thing I noticed is this really shiny gold label on the book, and it's got some embossing on it, like it's raised print, like a sticker. And it says that this book is a John Newbery Medal Award winner, and that's the kind of award that's given to really excellent children's literature. So that's a good sign that this is going to be a really great book. So I'm going to read the back of the book, just the summary, so you have a little bit of an idea about what the book's about. So Ivan was an easygoing gorilla. So the story is called The One and Only Ivan. So Ivan's an easygoing gorilla. Living in a shopping mall, he has grown accustomed to humans watching him through the glass walls of his domain. He rarely misses his life in the jungle. In fact, he hardly ever thinks about it at all. Instead, Ivan thinks about TV shows he's seen, his friends Stella and Bob, and painting. Then he meets Ruby, a baby elephant taken from her family. I think that's probably Ruby. And she makes Ivan see that their home and his own art through new eyes. When Ruby arrives, change comes with her, and it's up to Ivan to make it a change for the better. All right, well, I am excited to read this. I don't really know what to expect, although I've heard very good things about this book, so I'm optimistic it's going to be awesome. Okay, so here we go. There's like a opening to this story. I maybe it's like a prelude, or maybe just some words of thought from the author. It's titled Imagination. It looks like this, Imagination. And I'll read it. It says, "Someday I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our pasts or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly I think about what is, not what could be. I've learned not to get my hopes up." That's sad. All right, well, here we go. The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. Okay, so we'll read the first chapter today. Oh, there's like a glossary too. Okay, let's see. All right. Oh, this book is very interesting. Sorry, I'm looking at it literally for the first time. This is not a book that's written like in chapters. It's written in a really different format. It's kind of got these little mini chapters. And each kind of little section has a title. I'll kind of show you what I mean. It has like a little title right up at the top. So this one says hello. And then it has a couple sentences. And then this one happens to have a picture. So this page says, "Hello, I am Ivan. I am a gorilla. It's not as easy as it looks." I'll show you 2 more of these pages and I'll just read it. The next one's called Names. And then the next one's called Patience. So you see how they're not really chapters, but they're kind of like segments. So I'm curious to see how this story is outlined. So I think I'm going to read to page number, through page number 10. I think that'll be a good place for us to stop. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start back from the beginning. "Hello, I am Ivan. I am a gorilla. It's not as easy as it looks." Names. People call me the freeway gorilla, the ape at exit 8, the one and only Ivan, mighty silverback. The names are mine, but they are not me. I am Ivan, just Ivan, only Ivan. Humans waste words. They toss them like banana peels and leave them to rot. Everyone knows the peels are the best part. I suppose you think gorillas can't understand you. Of course, you probably think we can't walk upright. Try knuckle walking for an hour. You tell me which way's more fun. Patience. I've learned to understand human words over the years, but understanding human speech is not the same as understanding humans. Humans speak too much. They chatter like chimps, crowding the world with their noise, even when they have nothing to say. It took me some time to recognize all those human sounds, to weave words into things, but I was patient. Patient is a useful way to be when you're an ape. Gorillas are as patient as stones. Humans, not so much. How I look. I used to be a wild gorilla, and I still look the part. I have a gorilla's shy gaze, a gorilla's sly smile. I wear a snowy saddle of fur, the uniform of a silverback. When the sun warms my back, I cast a gorilla's majestic shadow. In my size, humans see a test of themselves. They hear fighting words on the wind, when all I'm thinking is how the late-day sun reminds me of a ripe nectarine. I'm mightier than any human, 400 pounds of pure power. My body looks like it was made for battle. My arms outstretched span taller than the tallest human. My family tree spreads wide as well. I am a great ape, and you are a great ape, and so are chimpanzees and orangutans and bonobos and all of us distant and distrustful cousins. I know this is troubling. I too find it hard to believe there is a connection across time and space, linking me to a race of ill-mannered clowns. Chimps. There's no excuse for them. The next 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. I live in a human habitat called the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. We are conveniently located off of I-95 with shows at 2, 4, and 7, 365 days a year. Mac says that's when he answers the trilling telephone. Mac works here at the mall. He's the boss. I work here too. I am the gorilla. At the Big Top Mall, a creaky carousel spins all day, and monkeys and parrots live amidst the merchants. In the middle of the mall is a ring with benches where humans can sit on their rumps while they eat soft pretzels. The floor is covered with sawdust made of dead trees. My domain is at one end of the ring. I live here because I am too much gorilla and not enough human. Stella's domain is next to mine. Stella is an elephant. She and Bob, who is a dog, are my dearest friends. At present, I do not have any gorilla friends. My domain is made of thick glass and rusty metal and rough cement. Stella's domain is made of metal bars. The sun bear's domain is wood. The parrot's is wire mesh. 3 of my walls are glass. One of them is cracked, and a small piece about the size of my hand is missing from its bottom corner. I made the hole with a baseball bat Matt gave me for my 6th birthday. After that, he took the bat away, but he let me keep the baseball that came with it. A jungle scene is painted on one of my domain walls. It has a waterfall without water, and flowers without scent, and trees without roots. I didn't paint it, but I enjoy the way the shapes flow across my wall, even if it isn't much of a jungle. I'm lucky my domain has 3 windowed walls. I can see the whole mall and a bit of the world beyond, the frantic pinball machines, the pink billows of cotton candy, the vast and treeless parking lot. Beyond the lot is a freeway where the cars stampede without end. A giant sign at its edge beckons them to stop and rest like gazelles at a watering hole. The sign is faded, the colors are bleeding, but I know what it says. Mac read its words aloud one day. Come to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, home of the one and only Ivan Mighty Silverback. Sadly, I cannot read, although I wish I could. Reading stories would make a fine way to fill up my empty hours. Once, however, I was able to enjoy a book left in my domain by one of my keepers. It tasted like termite. The freeway billboard has a drawing of Mac in his clown clothes and Stella on her hind legs and an angry animal with fierce eyes and unkempt hair. That animal is supposed to be me, but the artist made a mistake. I am never angry. Okay, let's look at the picture. He does look really mean, doesn't he? Do you think from the beginning of the story that Ivan's being truthful, that he is never mad or upset like this? Or do you think maybe he's hiding some secret truth? I don't know. I wonder. So this is probably Mac. And then this is his friend Stella, the elephant. All right, let's keep reading a couple more pages. Anger is precious. A silverback uses anger to maintain order and warn his troops of danger. When my father beat his chest, it was to say, beware, listen, I am in charge. I am angry to protect you because that is what I was born to do. Here in my domain, there is no one to protect. So they use the word domain a lot in this chapter or this section. What do you think that means based on the description in the story? I heard the author, the narrator talk about, Ivan, I guess, talk about how his domain has 3 glassed walls and 1 solid wall. And that the bird, the parrot, had a wire domain, and that different animals had different kinds of domains. What do you think domain is another word for? Any ideas? I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that means like their cage. So it sounds to me kind of like this is sort of an indoor zoo type of a thing. Probably not even nearly as nice as the zoo or the zoo in Sacramento or in Folsom, but something where animals are kept and put on display, and it sounds like they parade them around a kind of a circus thing in the middle too. So we're going to read one more little section. It's called The Littlest Big Top on Earth. My neighbors here at Big Top Mall know many tricks. They are an educated lot, more accomplished than I am. One of my neighbors plays baseball, although she is a chicken. Another drives a fire truck, although he is a rabbit. I used to have a neighbor, a sleek and thoughtful seal who could balance a ball on her nose from dawn until dusk. Her voice was like the throaty bark of a dog chained outside on a cold night. Children wished on pennies and tossed them into her plastic pool. They glowed on the bottom like flat copper stones. The seal was hungry one day, or bored perhaps, so she ate 100 pennies. Mac said she'd be fine. He was mistaken. Mac calls our show The Littlest Big Top on Earth. Every day at 2, 4, and 7, humans fan themselves, drink sodas, applaud. Babies wail. Mac, dressed like a clown, pedals a tiny bike. A dog named Snickers rides on Stella's back, and Stella sits on a stool. It's a very sturdy stool. I don't do any tricks. Mac says it's enough for me to be me. Stella told me that some circuses move from town to town. They have humans who dangle on ropes twinning from the tops of tents. They have grumbling lions with gleaming teeth and a snaking line of elephants, each clutching the limp tail in front of her. The elephants look far off into the distance so they won't see the humans who want to see them. Our circus doesn't migrate. We sit where we are like an old beast too tired to push on. After our show, humans forage through the stores. A store is where humans buy things they need to survive. At the Big Top Mall, some stores sell new things like balloons and t-shirts and caps to cover the gleaming heads of humans. Some stores sell old things that smell dusty and damp and long forgotten. All day, I watch humans scurry from store to store. They pass their green paper, dry as old leaves and smelling of 1,000 hands, back and forth and back again. They hunt frantically, stalking, pushing, grumbling. Then they leave, clutching bags filled with things, bright things, soft things, big things. But no matter how full the bags, they always come back for more. Humans are clever indeed. They spin pink clouds you can eat. They build domains with flat waterfalls, but they are lousy hunters. Okay, well, I am very curious, even just in this first few pages. The format of this book is really interesting. The illustrations are really interesting. And I'm very curious about Ivan and what his real personality is like. So tomorrow we'll keep reading. I don't really know where we'll start on page 14, which is titled Gone, and we'll read till we're done. So I'll see you tomorrow with more from the one and only Ivan. I'll see you guys later, Colts. Take care. Bye.